Hey everybody, it's Dave here from Dragonhill Games, and you're watching This Week in MTG Finance. As always, and before we get started, I want to thank MTG Stocks for allowing us to use graphical information for the purposes of this video. There has been some crazy spikes this week. A bunch of reserve list stuff is still moving. There's some combo cards from Modern, and even some stuff from the brand new Zendikar Rising. So let's dive right into our top 10 list, and we're going to start right here with Sentinel Druid from Antiquities. Up 140% this week, and on the reserve list, Sentinel Druid from Antiquities is currently valued at $16.50. A halfway decent card for being a card that's spiking from the reserve list. 2 mana for a 1/1 Druid that gets a +1/+1 counter on it each time an opponent casts an artifact. Could definitely be a meta call, but I could see this getting some use in some casual commander decks. And I do like to see reserve list cards moving that can actually see play, as opposed to a bunch of these cards that are just simply for collector value. I'm not surprised to see our number 9 winner on the list this week, and that would be Rampant Growth, specifically the Duels of the Planeswalkers printing. Currently valued at almost $2.50, and this is up 191% this week. This card has been printed a ton. It was in a lot of core sets, appears in a lot of different commander decks, and even as most recently as mystery boosters. If we have a look at the 7th edition version, which is the cheapest one at only 70 cents, this particular version is still up almost 50% this week. So definitely on the way up, but you could still get Rampant Growth for under $1 depending on which printing you're looking for. Coming in at number 8 and currently valued at $52, we have Halfdane from Legends. Now this is up 191% this week. And just like last week, there was a big focus this week on Legends from Legends. A lot of them aren't really all that playable, but Halfdane seems like it could slot into the right type of commander deck. For 4 mana, we're getting a 3/3 legendary that during your upkeep, you can have it switch its power and toughness to that of any other creature in play. Now this effect lasts until the end of your next upkeep. Interesting card, and I could definitely see it getting played in the right types of decks. Now our number 7 winner this week is another legend from Legends, and that would be Ragnar. This thing took a massive jump last week. When it was around 17, 18 bucks, it spiked up to around the $55 mark. And this week we're up another 244% to 138 bucks. These legends from Legends just do not stop climbing in value. Ragnar is a 3 mana 2/2 that we can pay 3 mana to regenerate a target creature. Coming in at number 6, we have Rashida Scalebane from Mirage, another reserve list card and currently valued at $3.25. Now this thing's up 255% this week. Really interesting card. Could definitely be a meta call if you've got a dragon deck opponent in your commander playgroup. Rashida Scalebane is 5 mana for a 3/4, and you can tap her to destroy target attacking or blocking dragon. It can't be regenerated, and you gain an amount of life equal to that dragon's power. Perhaps this is also comboing with decks including Angel of Destiny. Now our number 5 winner is the vampire that just won't stop coming back. It's Baron Sengir from Homelands, and yes, he was on our list last week. This week he's up another 280% to 40 bucks. This guy is so terrible. I can't believe that anybody would actually pay $40 for this card. However, if you're one of those people that bought an Apocalypse Chime a few weeks ago when it spiked, you can use your awesome Apocalypse Chime to bury Baron Sengir. Back to cards that make sense. Our number 4 winner this week, Flagstones of Trokair, is currently valued at 20 bucks, and this thing is up 361% this week. This card had a massive uptick back in 2016 when it reached its all-time high of 30 bucks, and we're still a ways off of that number. Of note, at the making of this video, you could still pick up the Ultimate Masters version for around the $10 mark. It does see some play in Modern, but this card will definitely slot nicely into a new commander deck featuring the brand new Omnath. Our number 3 winner came out of nowhere this week, and that would be Scute Swarm from the brand new Zendikar Rising set. Valued at almost 8 bucks, this thing is up 645% this week. Seems a little bit kind of slow rolling to me. For 3 mana, we get a 1/1 insect creature, but it has a really awesome landfall ability. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you create a 1/1 green insect creature token. Now, if you control 6 or more lands, instead, you create a copy of Scute Swarm. So I could see this thing definitely getting out of control in Commander. But like I said, it felt like a little bit slow rolling to me. I don't really see this getting much play, maybe in Standard or Modern or Pioneer, something like that. But it could definitely get out of control really quickly in Commander if it's not dealt with. Coming in at number 2 is an interesting combo card that kind of came out of nowhere. It's also in relatively low supply, considering it was printed on Uncommon in Morningtide, and it hasn't had another printing since. Recross the Paths is up 1,053% this week to $4.61. It has a really interesting effect, and it works awesome in a brand new modern Goblin Charbelcher deck that runs 0 lands. That's right, it's 0 lands. The modal dual flip lands from Zendikar Rising has allowed Goblin Charbelcher decks to effectively run 0 lands because there's all of those modal dual flips that are a spell on one side and a land on the other side. And remember, those cards, when they're in any zone except the battlefield, the game only sees the front side, which is the spell side. So Recross the Paths also has a really important wording. So reveal cards from the top of your deck until you reveal a land card. You put that card into play and put the rest of the cards on the bottom of your library in any order, and then you can clash with an opponent. The clash part doesn't really matter too much. What's more important is that if we're running these modal dual flip lands and none of them are the actual lands on the front face, then Recross the Paths allows us to essentially go through our entire deck and restack it in any way that we see fit, giving us the win with Goblin Charbelcher. Really interesting card. These are going to sell out quick, folks, because they are definitely in low supply. So if you want to be making this deck, I would try to get your hands on some as quickly as possible. Back to the Legends. From Legends, our big winner this week is Gustha, up 1,716% to almost $200. I don't think this price is really realistic. Obviously, reserved list card. If we head on over to eBay, we can see under sold listings, and these are the highest priced sold listings, that over the course of the last couple of weeks, graded copies have been selling for around the $50 to $60 mark. So Gustha is likely a result of people putting a bunch on there for outrageous amounts of money, trying to drive up the price. But it's definitely in low supply. There's only a few copies left on eBay, most of them going for in the $75 to $150 range, depending on condition. Before I get to cards I'm investing in this week, I want to take an opportunity to thank everyone who has been supporting the channel through our online marketplace, www.dragonhillgames.com. We have a great deal on the soon-to-be released and upcoming Zendikar Rising Commander decks, as well as a few pre-release kit with bonus packs left up on the website. So if that's something that interests you, go ahead and check that out. And if you played in a pre-release this weekend, I'd love it if you let me know in the comment section below how you made out. Let's kick things off with some awesome mill cards. Mill is all the rage right now, especially in Modern. Glimpse the Unthinkable was reprinted in Iconic Masters, originally from Ravnica, and it also has a Guilds of Ravnica printing. Now, the Iconic Masters printing is the cheapest version at just $9.50. And this is a classic Dimir mill card. For just 2 mana, target player puts the top 10 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. Fairly recent printing with Iconic Masters, so I don't really see this getting reprinted anytime soon. Great value pickup at $9.50. And continuing along with the mill theme, Fraying Sanity from Hour of Devastation is another great pickup at around $4.75. For 3 mana, essentially you're doubling down on all of your mill effects. You enchant a player, and at the beginning of each end step, enchanted player puts the top X cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard, where X is the number of cards already put into the graveyard from anywhere this turn. This card sees a lot of play in Commander, and I could definitely see it coming up into the forefront if mill becomes a viable Modern strategy. I was talking with one of my longtime subscribers, Dave Kavanaugh, this week about this card, and both him and I are on the same page. We both kind of think that this is one of the sleepers from the new Zendikar Rising set, and that would be Feldar Retreat. Currently priced at a paltry $1.75. This card has amazing value. For 4 mana, we get an enchantment. Enchantments are always difficult to deal with. It has landfall on it, and whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you get to either create a 2/2 a white cat beast creature token, or put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control, and those creatures gain vigilance until end of turn. Really amazing card for something like Rin and Seri, but just good solid value in almost any white commander deck. A real sleeper from Zendikar Rising, and I expect this one to go up a lot in the future. And our speculation play for the week is a combo piece from a brand new modern deck you may have heard me mention when I was talking about the top 10 list earlier in the video. That's right, it's Goblin Charbelcher, specifically the Mystery Booster version. A great pickup at around 50 cents. You can get most of the other versions for under $1. I mean, the original Mirrodin version's sitting around $2, but most of the other printings are still under $1. It remains to be seen if this deck is going to be viable in modern, but it looks really solid. I actually took a good hard look at this deck. I think it has a ton of potential. And if it does make a splash in modern, obviously a Goblin Charbelcher is the win con. So all of these decks are going to be needing copies of Goblin Charbelcher. Our spec play for the week, currently valued around 50 cents. Alright, I really hope you guys enjoyed this week in MTG Finance. If you did, go ahead and smash that like button. And if you're a subscriber, you know I want to thank you for being here. I really appreciate your support. And if not, now's a great time to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I post at least 2 videos every week. And speaking of posting videos, we got a bunch of awesome box opening videos coming this week. Set boosters, collector boosters, some sponsored videos, so keep your eyes open for that. Alright. Bye for now.